Welcome to a new episode of Chispa FM. Today we will talk about a great superstar of late 80s, so get ready and prepare to know, Rick Astley, the real deal. Please stay with me until the end of this video because we have a huge surprise. Richard Paul Astley was born on the 6th of February in 1966 in Newton-le-Willows in Lancashire, a little town between Manchester and Liverpool, actually a market town of Merseyside. He was the fourth child of his family. His father divorced when he was only 5 years old. His father Horace Astley took care of him. He had a gardening business. All his uncles were entrepreneurs with local small businesses, so he grew up surrounded in the business environment. He visited daily to his mother Cynthia Astley, who inspired and inculcated him the music passion. She was a pub piano sing-along, which was particularly popular in London. At the end of the day, Rick ended up watching classic movies, so he became passionate of Hollywood's golden age movies. His favorite actor is Kirk Douglas, and one of his most treasured treasures is a Kirk's autographed photo which one of Rick's fans gave him. Rick was so shy, his father's divorce seriously affected his childhood. He doesn't like the tense atmosphere between his parents, so as a way to escape he always participated in plays and school festivals. Curiously, he was always chosen. He studied in St. Peter's Primary School. It was a Catholic school, and yes, as you can imagine, they put him in the school choir. At the age of 15 he liked so much to play the drums. In a recent interview he said that if he gets back in time he would spend more time with girls than drums. At the age of 16 he left the school and started working as a delivery driver in his father's gardening business. Rick became part of some local bands as a drummer, like one called Giveaway, and the last and most important one was a band called FBI. Rick Astley began to write songs since it bothered him that in his band they only played covers. As a result of that, and because he did not like how they sang his compositions, Rick ended up being the singer of the band, with his powerful baritone voice. Can you imagine Rick at the front of the stage with how shy he was? Well, do not imagine it. Here is a fragment of an FBI presentation with Rick Astley at the front. Following these presentations, the FBI band was invited to participate in a musical showcase in the town of Penketh, Warrington. At that time Rick was 19 years old. That presentation would mark his life forever. And in what way? In that presentation, the manager of the band invited a friend named Pete Waterman to listen to the three bands he represented. Waterman was a very famous producer of that time, and he liked Rick's presentation so much that he offered him work in his recording studio, PWL Studios. This production studio was where the extraordinary team consisting of Mike Stock, Matt Aitken and Pete Waterman wrote and produced the greatest hits of the 80s and 90s. In fact, they were known as the Hit Factory, but in another video we will talk more about them. Back to Rick's story, Waterman only wanted to hire Rick as a soloist, but not his band, and, due to his fellowship and brotherhood, he did not accept the offer. It is until a few months later that he decides that he would not have much future with the FBI, and finally decides to accept the Waterman proposal, and that is how he enters the same year of 1985 to PWL Studios, with the brand new position of tape operator. Because Rick was very reserved and shy, Pete Waterman decided to give him that position to adapt to the environment. Rick Astley says that basically his role was to prepare tea, hence one of his nicknames was the Tea Boy. Obviously it was to forge him. He also helped as a writer, and so, between Teacup and Teacup, Rick was getting closer and closer to Waterman's final goal. In 1986 the first recorded track of Rick Astley with Waterman arose, which was a collaboration for the album of the singer Okai Brown. And was literally collaboration, since Rick did not obtain credits nor royalties for that duet. The song was called Learning to Live Without Your Love. Let's listen to it.
I still miss the little things you used to do and say.
His first commercial single where Rick is mentioned was a duet with Lisa Carter, called When You Gonna, and was released under the name of Rick and Lisa in the year of 1987. We are going to listen to a fragment. This single did not have as much promotion nor as much success, but that was only a test, since it would come the launching of a new legend in the musical industry. On the 27th of July, 1987, Rick Astley's first single as a solo artist entitled Never Gonna Give You Up was released, quickly conquering England's top chart and shortly after the world top, being the #1 song in 16 countries. This song was the cherry on the cake of their debut album, Whenever You Need Somebody, which sold 15 million copies, making Rick Astley nominated as Best New Artist in the Grammys. Seeing the rising popularity of Rick, in October 1987, they wanted to relaunch the theme of Learning to Live Without Your Love, in duet with Okai Brown, now giving him credit with the name of Okai Brown and Rick Astley. However, people did not want to hear that. They wanted to listen only to Rick Astley. By the way, did you know that the Whenever You Need Somebody song is a cover? So is. This song was released in 1985, interpreted by Okai Brown, without success, but the voice of Rick Astley turned it into a mega hit. The fame was rising. Rick had to travel around the world. And you don't know how difficult it was for him to make these trips, since he has always been afraid of traveling by plane. What he usually did is transport himself by driving his car on his tours in Europe, and when he traveled to Australia, for example, he only made the necessary flight, and arriving all the transportation was by land. He does not overcome that fear yet. At times he paused in his career to get away from the industry and the media. His first single turned him into a millionaire at the age of 22. Rick got tired of the fame and hectic pace of life very soon. Between writing his songs, producing them, making presentations, and the press, his time was completely gone. For his second album, Rick wrote 60% of his songs. He was very talented. But the straw that broke the camel's back was a presentation on the German TV show Wetten, dass. He was in the afternoon checking out the technical aspects of his presentation when he saw a camel in the studio, which would be used for his presentation, so that Rick would have to sing to the camel during the show. Then Rick thought, what the hell are we doing? In 1993 he was on his way to Heathrow Airport in London to board a flight to New York, USA, to do a performance on the David Letterman show. On the way he thought, I'm going to get on a plane, and I'm not sure I want to go. I got tired of saying yes to all these things that I do not want to do anymore. Instead of planting myself and telling myself, no, that's not what I want to do. Then he turned around and looked at his manager, who was and still is a longtime friend of Rick, and he said, I cannot do this anymore, and he let himself cry. He completely understood Rick, told the driver to stop, and told him to take him home. That's it, we finished with this. And that's how Rick decided to retire completely from that bizarre world in 1993, in full youth at age 27, still super famous, and with a large fortune very well taken care of, thanks to the teachings of his father, the wisdom of a very good manager, and most expensive lawyer he could hire. By that time he had already sold more than 40 million records, and his fortune was estimated at more than £10 million. He is so rich that to date he has not had the need to work again, and when he does it with his heart, wanting to do it, not because the industry forces him to do it. He had a daughter named Emily with his longtime partner, and now wife, the film producer and actress Lene Borzager. He secretly married after a 27-year relationship with her, and all because one day his daughter came to visit them, since she lives in Copenhagen, and said, are you going to get married, or what? And both responded, okay, let's do it. He immediately told his ex-manager to be his best man and they got married in the civil registry. He has released material from time to time, but nothing like his most recent album released last year titled 50, where he himself wrote, sang and played all the instruments that were used on the album. Incredible, no? No doubt he is a very talented person. As curious facts. Currently, he still plays drums in a band with his friends. It is a rock trio, and they are called the Oddities, and it is, according to his own words, a 50s crisis band. This year he launched his own beer, called Astley's Northern Hop Lager, made by Mikkola. Something incredible is that he always saw his wife many years before meeting her. Do you know where? She was the model for a spectacular Smirnoff vodka ad that was everywhere, including Rick's hometown. This happened in 1984, 4 years before meeting her. In 2011 he gave a concert in Haydock Park, very close to his hometown, and in an unusual event invited his mother to accompany him on stage playing the piano and singing the song of Nat King Cole called When I Fall in Love, being the first time that Cynthia appeared to a large audience. Rick Astley has proven to be a simple person, with super charm, great humility and with a super talent that they would like to have many of the current artists, all a bred of God. I'll leave some more information in the comments. Thank you very much for accompanying me to watch another episode of Chispa FM. Light your life. I hope you subscribe and leave me your comments about this legend called Rick Astley. I'll leave my email here in the description so that we're in contact. Thanks to all the people who have visited me and commented my videos. Please share and help me to present these and other curiosities of the musical world. Goodbye. Hey, wait a minute. I forgot something super important. The surprise. Pay close attention. The surprise is... You've been rickrolled.